Per Aragonese ERCTBD. The 2021 Catalan regional election was held on Sunday, the 14th of February 2021, to elect the 13th Parliament of the Autonomous Community of Catalonia. All 135 seats in the parliament were up for election. After the 2017 election, pro-Catalan independence parties secured a parliamentary majority, electing Quim Torra as new Catalan president after attempts to have Carles Puigdemont and Jordi Turull elected to the office were foiled by Spanish courts. However, in December 2019, Torra was disqualified by the High Court of Justice of Catalonia from holding any elected office and/or from exercising government powers for disobeying the Central Electoral Commission's rulings in the April 2019 Spanish general election campaign. Torra remained as president as he appealed the ruling, but was stripped from his status as legislator in the Catalan parliament. A snap election loomed over the horizon for several months as Torra announced his will to call one after the court rulings, but the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in Spain stalled these plans. On the 28th of September 2020, the TSJC's ruling was upheld by the Supreme Court of Spain, finally disqualifying Torra from office and paving the way for a regional election to be called for. Early 2021, Puigdemont announced his intention to lead the lists of his new Together for Catalonia party into the election, with former regional culture minister Laura Borras being selected as presidential candidate. Concurrently, in a move widely seen as Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's personal bet for his party to obtain a strong performance in the election, the Socialists Party of Catalonia selected Health Minister Salvador Illa, who had been at the helm of the Spanish government's response to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, as its leading candidate. Pro-independence parties gained a majority of the votes for the first time in an election, though they lost over 600,000 votes from the previous elections amidst the lowest voter turnout in history. The PSC under Salvador Illa emerged as the largest political party in a Catalan regional election. In both votes and seats for the first time in history, the far-right Vox placed fourth and entered parliament for first time, winning 11 seats, to the collapse of both Citizens, the successor of the once dominant Democratic Convergence of Catalonia. In 2015, the Parliament of Catalonia was the devolved, unicameral legislature of the Autonomous Community of Catalonia, having legislative power in regional matters as defined by the Spanish Constitution and the Catalan Statute of Autonomy, as well as the ability to vote confidence in or withdraw it from a regional president. As a result of no regional electoral law having been approved since the re-establishment of Catalan autonomy, the electoral procedure came regulated under transitory provision 4th of the 1979 statute, supplemented by the provisions within the Organic Law of General Electoral Regime. Voting for the parliament was on the basis of universal suffrage, which comprised all nationals over 18, registered in Catalonia and in full enjoyment of their political rights. Additionally, Catalans abroad were required to apply for voting before being permitted to vote, a system known as begged or expat vote. The 135 members of the Parliament of Catalonia were elected using the D'Hondt method and a closed list proportional representation, with an electoral threshold of 3% of valid votes, which included blank ballots, being applied in each constituency. Seats were allocated to constituencies corresponding to the provinces of Barcelona, Girona, Lleida and Tarragona, with each being allocated a fixed number of seats: 85 for Barcelona, 17 for Girona, 15 for Lleida and 18 for Tarragona. The use of the D'Hondt method might result in a higher effective threshold, depending on the district magnitude. The term of the Parliament of Catalonia expired 4 years after the date of its previous election. Unless it was dissolved earlier, the regional president was required to call an election 15 days prior to the date of expiry of Parliament, with election day taking place within from 40 to 60 days after the call. The previous election was held on the 21st of December 2017, which meant that the legislature's term would have expired on the 21st of December 2021. The election was required to be called no later than the 6th of December 2021, with it taking place up to the 60th day from the call, setting the latest possible election date for the Parliament on Friday, the 4th of February 2022. The President had the prerogative to dissolve the Parliament of Catalonia and call a snap election, provided that no motion of no confidence was in process and that dissolution did not occur before 1 year had elapsed since a previous one under this procedure. In the event of an investiture process failing to elect a regional president within a 2-month period from the first ballot, the Parliament was to be automatica.